Is starting a ministry from behind bars enough to convince people that you're no longer a cold-blooded killer? Just ask the child of one of Tex Watson's victims. "I'm the devil, and I'm here to do the devil's business," Charles Tex Watson told one of his victims, a Polish actor named Wojtek Frykowski, on the night of August 8, 1969. Watson eventually killed Frykowski, shooting him, stabbing him, and clubbing him with the gun's butt. By his own account, Watson was Charlie Manson's right-hand man and carried out his orders by slaughtering 7 people over 2 nights in the summer of 1969. Among the victims were the pregnant actor Sharon Tate and the LaBiancas, who were successful grocery store owners. In November 1971, Judge Adolph Alexander sentenced Watson to death after a jury found him guilty of first-degree murder in the Tate-LaBianca deaths. In 1972, California overturned the death penalty, and Watson was instead given life in prison. In Watson's more than 5 decades behind bars, he's been denied parole 18 times, but he's still managed to get married and divorced, father 4 children, and start a Christian ministry. Tex Watson is currently serving his prison sentence at the Richard J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego. The nearly 800-acre facility is located on an arid mesa outside of the city, less than a mile from the Mexican border, and is surrounded by other law enforcement facilities. The prison has a commercial bakery, laundry area, and shoemaking facility where inmates work. According to the transcript from his 2021 parole hearing, Watson was a hazmat porter, akin to janitorial service, at the prison from 2009 to 2017. He later became involved in facilitating recovery groups. Among the more than 3,300 inmates housed at the prison, there are several other infamous criminals besides Watson, such as Eric and Lyle Menendez, who were convicted in 1996 of killing their parents. Marion Suge Knight, the former CEO of Death Row Records, is also housed there, serving 28 years for voluntary manslaughter after intentionally running someone over in 2015. In 1975, Tex Watson found God and became a born-again Christian. He told the parole board in 2016, "And from that point on, I began to look for ways that I could really reach out to people." He founded his ministry in 1980, became an ordained minister the next year, and launched his ministry's website in 1997. He has gained many supporters who believe he's a changed man, including the daughter of Rosemary LaBianca, one of Watson's victims. Watson wrote in his book, Charles Watson Speaks Out, "She found out I was really changed, so she came from New Mexico to tell me who her parents were and to forgive me. It was a miraculous event with the anointing of God all over us." But in the 1980s, while helping to lead the Protestant chapel at the California Men's Colony Prison where he was then incarcerated, Watson allegedly used his position to get administrative disciplinary actions against other inmates who didn't agree with his teachings. The California Attorney General's office also looked into the dealings of Watson's Abounding Love Ministries concerning the alleged misuse of funds for personal use. In September 1979, Tex Watson married Kristen Jones Fedge in a prison ceremony. They had begun corresponding through the mail before falling in love. According to journalist Scott Thomas Anderson, the prison allowed them to have conjugal visits until 1996, when the state outlawed them for inmates serving life sentences. They had 4 children together and divorced in 2003. While married, Svedge not only raised their children, but also financially supported Watson's elderly parents before they died, per testimony in the 2016 parole hearing. In 2011, Anderson claimed that even after the divorce, Svedge continued to stand by Watson and push for his release. When his children were young, he explained to them why he was behind bars. Watson told the parole board, "I put it to them in a way that a 6-year-old could understand, that Dad did a horrible thing in the late 60s, and that he's now suffering the consequences of what he's done." He said he continues to have close relationships with his children and his siblings. In 2013, a fellow inmate stabbed Tex Watson in the back with a paintbrush handle sharpened to a point and tried to toss him off the prison's 2nd story due to the notoriety of the Manson murders. Watson recounted, "He was trying to throw me off the tier, right? And I just hung on kind of for dear life and waited until the officers got there." On October 15, 2021, a California parole board again denied Tex Watson his freedom. It was the then 77-year-old's 18th try. In making its decision, the board found Watson, quote, "does pose a reasonable risk to public safety and is not suitable for parole at this time, due in part to a lack of effective growth and an incomplete acceptance of responsibility for the Tate-LaBianca murders." Watson, according to the board, continued to blame his actions over those 2 nights on drug use abuse and Charles Manson. Commissioner Randolph Grounds said during the hearing, "It is especially troubling that he actually committed some of the most disturbing and atrocious and cruel aspects of the murders."
I was a naive Texas boy without a conscience of really right and wrong.
As in past parole board hearings for Watson, relatives of his victims attended and spoke out against letting him out. Deborah Tate, Sharon Tate's sister, told the board she couldn't say whether the factors behind Watson's killing spree are still present. She added, "It scares me to death. He may have full intentions of leading a quiet life with his children, but I don't think he possesses the tools in order to guarantee society that the factors that made him the monster in the past won't again happen and make him a monster in the future." Watson's next parole hearing will be in October 2026.